Privet, my friends. Are you feeling very sexy right now? Very, I guess, amazing and very black metally? Nyah. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for coming on by and dealing with my terrible intro, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Spasibo, like always. Right now, I am checking out a new artist that seems to be a lot of talk and buzz in the metal community. And that is, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name or the artist or the group. I think it's a one-man band, but I think it's Draugveil, with his debut album called Cruel World of Dreams and Fears. And if you're in the metal world, you might have heard about this guy and his project, but if you're not familiar, Draugveil, I'm gonna butcher it so many times, is a one-man black metal project. And he did, I think he dropped his debut LP this past January. And in the black metal communities, a lot of people have been talking about this man's music, especially, just because of the cover art of it. Looking at it right now, he's all like laying in roses with his armor and black metal corpse paint, looking all handsome and stuff. So I think people are very split about that in terms of like what you're getting. You're kind of knowing what you're getting, but also it's kind of like, what is he doing with this cover art? And apparently a lot of people are judging that whether it is AI art or not. And I want to say possibly. I don't really think it's AI art. If not, there might be AI touch up. But the whole image itself, AI, I don't think so necessarily. But yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about it, reviewing it. And I was like, I got to check out this band and see what all the hype is about. And his album, Cruel World of Dreams and Fears, is a very raw and emotionally charged journey through black metal's bleakest corridors. And it managed to do something really, really surprisingly rare. And that is, it channels that lo-fi spirit of the black metal genre while also still sounding quite refreshing and dynamic. And right from the start, with the distorted opening song of Night Without a Name, the album really makes its intentions very clear. This is black metal drenched in DIY aesthetics where, the production is really rough, but in a weird way, it circles back around to where, it's being its major strength. And so I want to play a clip of the opening song here so you get a sense of just like, the heavy distortion they're using here in a very cool and fascinating way to make it feel quite uniquely fresh from a genre that, can get played with a lot of repetition and, using a lot of similar tropes. This sounds so amazing right there. And so I want to say, the one thing I noticed about this album is the drums. They have a very uniquely punchy and papery feel to it, as if almost they were recorded in a garage with just a single mic, yet somehow they cut through and just steal the show in terms of just their playing style. The cymbal work on here, especially in the faster passages, adds a very thrilling and chaotic energy that just really elevates even some of the most straightforward riffing moments. Vocally, Draugveil leans into like a very fried, scrammy delivery that just fits really nicely with the music's emotional desperation. There's a very distinctive sense of momentum across this whole album. The pacing, I gotta say, is quite impeccable. Tracks really build and explode and slow down, and then they return with some new textures to always keep you on your toes and just make you think whoa, this sounds really good. It's definitely a formula, but perhaps it's one of those better formulas because it's constantly keeping you engaged in this listening experience. And when he goes full speed, like on the songs Moonlight Resurrection or Vortex, he's really able to capture that kind of intensity that made the second wave of black metal so compelling. So I want to play a little clip of Vortex for you so you get a sense of just how, intense and compelling his style of black metal is. So compelling. But I think where he really excels here is when he incorporates more space and sorrow into the chaos. There's some really interesting slower moments that are strategically scattered throughout this album that really flow into each other nicely to make the overall like package of the album flow nice. Like the song Grief Match, it kind of injects like a 70s hard rock swagger into the very blackened skeleton of the music, pulling back on the aggression and, without really losing any of that atmosphere. Meanwhile, the interludes like My Sword Points to the Past and Beneath the Armor I Wrought, they are very essential to the overall listening experience because they just add so much breathing room on this album. So I'm gonna play a clip of My Sword Points to the Past so you get a sense of just the flow and just, the nuances he's doing here. So emotional. And in these quieter moments, led by very mournful, distorted pianos, swelling ambience, it feels less like filler, but just like a very emotional anchor to this album. They're minimalist, but emotionally loaded, giving you time to reflect upon yourself as you listen before you're pulled back into the storm of all the black metalness. Even when the band experiments further, like on the song Soul Tear, which oddly invokes like a 90s teen movie soundtrack passed through a black metal filter, you think, this wouldn't really work, but somehow he's able to pull it off. It's catchy in its own way because like the bass lines kind of are like on the verge of being quite funky and the drums kind of flirt a little bit with groove. So you get a nice bit of a sonic change up with this song. He's doing a really good job of keeping things moving nicely without ever feeling too predictable or falling into like typical black metal tropes. The closing track here, When Silence Becomes My Kingdom, doesn't just wrap the album up in another like blast beat of heaviness and black metal. Instead, moving into more of a slow burning synth and string laden descent into just pure darkness. It's a rare case when you're ending on a more ambient interlude like piece and it feels like not only earned, but it just feels perfectly placed and just goes with the whole tone of the record and everything that has come before. Ultimately, Cruel World is a very grim and strangely beautiful ride through the raw aesthetics of black metal and just black emotional soundscapes. Draugveil is not really reinventing the genre here, but he's definitely pushing it into new boundaries and just doing enough to make things a little bit more interesting. And doing it with such genuine feeling and a sense of pacing that most bands would kill for. And I would say he's got an ear for making very like the most ugliest sounds in the very like ugly looking world of black metal seem very cathartic and just very captivating. Yeah. So I would say this latest album from Draugveil, Cruel World of Dreams and Fears, I would have to give it up to him and give him a nice and good solid 9 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this. Always, I'm happy for recommendations. And until next time, guys, see you in the pit. Good things about you.